Welcome to round 3 of the Banter Racing League on F1 2018. We are here for the Shanghai International Circuit in China for the Chinese Grand Prix. And here we are on board the Renault of Fazrul as he heads into the final corner. He took pole position for the first time in the history of his league racing. He did a 131.251, which set the fastest lap of the session. And put it on pole here in China. And the qualifying results. Fazrul put it on pole by only 9 thousandths from Century in second place for Mercedes, then Ping Too High in third for Sauber, and then Agonza in fourth for Haas, and then Wattmaster in fifth for Sauber, then Wesley in sixth, and then Lucky Racer in seventh, Jagger in eighth, then Rantix in ninth for Toro Rosso, then Boxy in 10th, Harry in 11th, Cryptox 12th, Savage in 13th, and then Thaboom at the back in 14th. So yeah, Fazrul and Century on the Ultras, and then Ping, Agonza, Wattmaster, Lucky Racer, Jagger, and Harry on the softs. It's a very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting set of strategies. As we start the formation lap now.
Let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go
Fazrul leads the formation lap for the first time in a league racing season, and we can see Jagger in 8th place, starting on the softs. Lucky Racer starting on the softs as well. Wesley also on the softs. Rantix on the ultras though. Ventrox on the ultras, but still slower than a few people. And yeah, on board with Jagger. And here we are with Ping Too High coming into this corner. He's weaving his wheel. And what will happen to him in this race? Will he get a good result, or will Agonza get a good result? Will it be another good battle between him and Agonza, just like in Australia, of course, back in Australia. Bahrain, however, they weren't near each other because Ping started from the back, due to just sort of general slow time and soft tires, I think, for that race as well, or mediums or something like that. Anyway, lining up on the grid for round 3 of F1 2018 BRL. And Fazrul lines up on the front row alongside Mercedes of Century. Here we go, what will happen at the start of this Chinese Grand Prix? Here we go, there's Savage on the left, Harry on the left as well. There's Boxy, who's driving the Williams for this race instead of the McLaren. He decided to test the Williams out. And here we go, we're all lined up and we are ready for round 3 of the Banter Racing League in China. And it's now where we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. And Fazrul gets a very good start. He defends the lead heading down towards turn 1 and keeps the lead coming into turn 1. Century is now on the inside of him, coming into the turn 2 now. Century on the inside of him, he's slightly ahead of him, but now they're side by side through the first 2 corners. But Fazrul's going to go on the inside, has the inside line, and still holds on to the lead. As now, here we go, it's Fazrul leading from Century, then it's Ping, and then Agonza in 4th, ahead of Wesley and then Wattmaster. And now here comes Ping trying to go up the inside of Century, but not quite there for the German in the Sauber. And Fazrul really holding up a train now, of course, because one of the slower drivers on the grid. As now, Ping is braking very, very late. He is very confident in getting Century. As now, here we are onto the straight, ending near the end of lap 1 here in China. As now onto the straight we go. Fazrul leads, Century second, Ping in third, then it's Agonza, then Wattmaster, then Jagger, and then Wesley in 7th place for Ferrari. As now, can Century go to the slipstream and he's trying to go to the outside of Fazrul, as Cryptox has retired from the session on lap 1. That's unfortunate for him in the Force India. The German in the Force India has retired on lap 1. We'll see the replay in a second. But now it's a complete lap 1 of this Chinese Grand Prix. Fazrul leads the way for Renault ahead of Century for Mercedes, and then Ping Too High in 3rd for Sauber, then Agonza in 4th for Haas, Wattmaster, then Jagger, then Wesley, and then Lucky Racer in 8th place, then Harry Tech in 9th, then it's Savage, and then Thaboom. And Boxy pitted at the end of the first lap, as well as Rantix. As now here we go on board with Cryptox to show how he retired from this race. He's going alongside Boxy onto the straight. He's on mediums and he's on ultra softs, and it's just been collected there onto the straight, a bit of contact, and a huge hit into the wall onto the straight, and he is out of the race. So, but basically, Boxy touched Cryptox and spun around. Straight into the wall went Cryptox. He had nowhere else to go but into the wall there. As now, here we go. A battle for second place is emerging. Or third place. Between Agonza, Ping, and Whatmaster. Here we go. What's going to happen here? Whatmaster tries to go round the outside of Agonza. Is he going to try and get this move done? No, he isn't. They're side by side heading into this corner. Whatmaster is the inside line. As now, yep, Agonza tries to go back on the inside, heading down onto the straight. As now they're side by side, heading into the corner, and there's contact, and Agonza is in the wall, and he is out of the Chinese Grand Prix. The winner from last race is retired from the race, and the current championship leader out as well. And now Jigger goes on the inside of Whatmaster in the Sauber, and he moves up into 4th place. What a dramatic first 2 laps of the race. A lot of incidents there, and 2 incidents now on the straight. Agonza, the championship leader, out of this race for Haas. That will make Ping very happy. But he's going to have a points advantage in this race now that Agonza is out. Ping is currently P3 for Sauber. Jagger right up the back of him in 4th. But it's still Fajal and Sentry fighting it out for position in this race. They're fighting it out for the lead. So 2 DNFs within the first 2 laps of this race. And the virtual safety car being deployed for that incident with the Agonza. Cryptox out on lap 1 and Agonza out on lap 2. Let's check the replay from Whatmaster's perspective. And he tried to go around the outside, a very late braking move from Whatmaster. And he actually overtook Agonza, but Agonza went for the switchback onto the flat-out right-hander, and he got back past him. But let's see what happened here. And there we go. There actually was not any contact on Whatmaster's screen. Whatmaster's point of view, there was no contact between Agonza and Whatmaster. So that would end up being that Agonza was lag killed by Whatmaster, because there was just no contact there on his view. Anyway, the replays of the start now. And here we go with Whatmaster. He got a decent start compared to Agonza. And you can see Fajal and Sentry fighting it out at the front of the field. And Wesley tried to go up the inside of Whatmaster. So he started in P5, of course, to Whatmaster. As now, yep, Wesley goes past Whatmaster there on the outside. As now they're actually banging wheels there, and Whatmaster got him back into that corner. And he dropped slightly back. He slightly dropped back from the lead battle after that battle with the Ferrari. You can still see Fajal and Sentry fighting it out for position. Here we go, on board with Vladimir Jagger off the start in the Mercedes. And he has Lucky Racer beside him in the Williams. And Lucky Racer got a really average start, and Wesley also got an average start. And he tried to go around the outside of Wesley, and it turned out that Jagger got hit by Rantix. That is how Rantix got damaged on lap 1 and had to pit for a new front wing. As you can see, Whatmaster and Wesley side by side. You can see they're banging wheels there. As now coming into turn 6. And Jagger actually got the move. Yes, it was a very launching move on Wesley. And Jagger got that move. And that's how he moved up into P6. And on board Cryptox off the start. This is 1 point of his very short race. It ended on lap 1 on the straight. But this is how his start panned out. He has a desynced Harry ahead of him in the Red Bull. And you can see front wing damage there. That was Rantix. Cryptox is shown in the coverage here because to show what happened to Rantix on lap 1. And he ran into the back of Jagger. So yeah, Lucky Racer down to 10th off the start, and Cryptox did not get the greatest of starts. But the worst start out of them all was Savage, who had a lot of wheel spin off the start, reported a lot of wheel spin off the start, and lost out to Thaboom off the line. So that was the replays. And now here we go on lap 3 of this Chinese Grand Prix now. Here we go onto the straight, and Sentry is now going to challenge him now. The battle for the lead continues between Fajal and Sentry. Here we go, Sentry now has DRS. He's going to get the slipstream. Fajal defends the inside. And Sentry goes to the outside, coming down into the hairpin. Sentry tries to go around the outside, but he's gone very wide there, and Fajal holds on to the lead. But now, here we go, coming into the final corner. What can Sentry do into turn 1? And Fajal pits. Fajal pits for his first pit stop. Of course, he's one of the ultra soft runners, so he is pitting early
2 stops remaining.
for his set of tyres. Sentry is also pitting. So, They're both pitting. And yeah, let's see how the stop goes for both of these guys. And actually it turns out that Sentry drove through the pit lane. So Sentry actually got a drive-through penalty for something. He got a drive-through penalty. So actually he actually drove through the whole pit lane. He didn't. The Mercedes crew did not serve him. They served Fajrul, however, who's on the soft tires now. That should be a 1-stop for him. A 1-stop or a 2-stop at least. Fajrul there. But Sentry actually got a drive-through for some odd reason. Here we go, on board with Harry in the Red Bull. His teammate Combined obviously is not racing, as you can tell right now, in this Chinese Grand Prix, so it's all down to him in this race. As now here comes Lucky Racer to the inside of the Ferrari of Wesley. Coming down towards the hairpin. Harry has DRS as well. Lucky Racer gets past Wesley, and now Harry goes to the inside. Into turn 14 we go, and he gets past Wesley on the inside. And that was an instant penalty for Harry there for crossing the corner at the hairpin. But Harry and Lucky Racer both get past Wesley. As now Harry will try and challenge Lucky Racer, but he didn't quite get it there. As now the battle between Sentry and Fajrul continues on lap 6 here in China. Here we go, coming down towards turn 2 and 3. And now coming down towards the turn 6 hairpin. What's Fajrul going to do? Is he going to go for a late braking move? Here he goes. He's having a little look up the inside. Sentry makes a little bit of a mistake there. They're side by side coming down towards the flat out corner of turn 7. As now here comes Fajrul around the outside at turn 7. And retakes the position from Sentry. This is a good battle for the effective lead of this race. And that is Fajrul getting back past Sentry in the Mercedes. And he gets into 7th place. Next up is Wesley's teammate The Boom. We saw Wesley getting passed by both Lucky Racer and by Harry as well. But now here is The Boom in the Ferrari, being challenged by Fajrul. Here we go into the hairpin now. The Boom brakes really early there, and that's forced Fajrul to go a little bit wide there. So this is the battle for 6th place between the Ferrari and the Renault, but The Boom should just not fight him whatsoever. Here we go. Fajrul has a slipstream on Thaboom coming down towards turn 1. He's going to get place into turn 1. Yes, he is, surely. Thaboom lags a lot, but Fajrul gets the move on the inside, and into P6 he goes. And next up is Harry in the Red Bull for 5th place. So it's a good race for Fajrul so far, and for Harry. And of course Fajrul on pole. He started from pole. Does he have a chance for a podium today? As now here we go, on board with Vladimir Jager in the Mercedes. He is going to pit this lap, as you can see from the from his engineer, that he asked him to box this lap, and he's going to box this lap. Jager is going to box this lap, and Lucky Racer challenging him into the hairpin, trying to get a 3rd place, but not quite there. As now here comes Jager diving into the pits for his first pit stop of this race. Lucky Racer moves up to 3rd, and Harry up to 4th. And here we go, Jager into the pits for Mercedes. What's they going to change on? He's going to change onto a set of mediums. Medium tyres for the second stint, so that means Jager's on a 1-stop strategy. And Fajrul's going to get ahead of Jager there.
Just don't crash.
Into 5th he goes on the lap 11 of this Chinese Grand Prix. We are almost halfway through. And Harry's left the session. Harry has disconnected from the race, and that means that Lucky Racer's safe in that 3rd place at the moment, unless Harry rejoins. But Harry disconnected there. That is a disappointing day for Red Bull, not starting with Combined, and Harry disconnecting from the race. It's a terrible day for Red Bull. As now here we go, on board with Fajrul once again, the effective leader of this race. Here we go, coming into the final corner. What's going to happen here? There is currently Lucky Racer is in the pits, as well as Wattmaster. Here we go, he gets ahead of Lucky Racer, but now he's going to get ahead of Wattmaster out of the pit lane. Fajrul goes around the outside into turn 1 and gets ahead of Wattmaster out of the pit lane. As now here is Jager coming out of the pits just ahead of Lucky Racer, so 2 undercuts of work there. And Fajrul gets ahead of Wattmaster, and Jager gets ahead of Lucky Racer in the Williams. a very exciting pit stop phase right here. As here we go, Ping Shanghai, he's going to pit this lap. He's not pitted yet, and he is pitting now. And he's locked up, almost made a mistake there, just about didn't hit the wall, but he's actually lost it again, and has now got front wing damage. Ping Shanghai just bottled it in the pits, and he's now got front wing damage. That is a big mistake from Ping. Could that interrupt his race and his chances to extend the lead, or to take the lead away from Agonza once again, after Agonza crashing out of this race due to lag? Fajl retakes the lead, Whatmaster second. Jago will take third, Lucky Racer fourth. And then Wesley will take fifth, and it was indeed a front wing change for Ping. And he rejoins in P6 behind Wesley in the Ferrari. Yeah, and Harry's disconnected car actually pitched him as well, so 7th place for him. As now, here we go, on lap 13 of this Chinese Grand Prix. Ping switched onto the medium tyres for that stop. As now Wesley makes a very tight line into the hairpin, and that has lost him a bunch of time. As he comes into the final corner now. And Lucky Racer gets the fastest lap of the race after just pitting for soft tyres. As now here you go, Ping with DRS. He's going to go to the inside of Wesley, and that's a very easy move. And he moves up into 5th place, does the Sauber. And that is an easy move for Ping there. And Wesley just made contact with Ping there just a bit. And he didn't need to fight him there, but he actually made contact. And here we go with Whatmaster gaining on Fajl in the Renault. Here we go, Whatmaster's going to have DRS available and ERS deployment to mode 4. Here we go, he's going to get slipstream now. Whatmaster has DRS on Fajl coming down towards the hairpin. He's going to go to the outside of Fajl coming down into turn 14. Here we go, Whatmaster gets ahead and takes the lead of the race, but Fajl is trying to go on the inside once again. But Whatmaster has the better traction and gets into the lead of this race. And here we go into the final corner. Fajl has DRS once again as you head down towards turn 1. Fajl has the slipstream, goes to the inside coming down towards turn 1 and retakes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. A very good race for the Fajl in the Renault. It's a dream race so far. Lap 15, we are more than halfway through this race. And it's Fajl versus Whatmaster for the lead, due to Sentry's drive-through penalty costing him the win. And the battle with Fajl, now it's Whatmaster challenging Fajl for the win. So it's swapped around. It's a battle with him and battle with Fajl and Whatmaster instead of Fajl and Sentry. As now here we go, coming onto the straight. Can Whatmaster challenge Fajl once again? Coming onto the straight now. Oh, and Fajl just disconnected from the race, and that is that's going to put Whatmaster automatically into the lead there. So Fajl unfortunately disconnected from the race. He had such a good race, actually had a chance for a podium place today, and is now disconnected from the race and is not going to score many points now. Whatmaster takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. And now here we are on lap 17, 2 laps later. And Lucky Racer is in DRS range to Vladimir Jager in the Mercedes, who's moved up to 2nd place, of course, due to Fajl's demise. And here we go, onto the straight. Lucky Racer's going to get some DRS on Jager. Surely too far back to make a move, unless Jager's slow enough on the straight to be passed. And here we go, Lucky Racer's gaining and gaining. He's gaining quickly, but he's not going to go up the inside. He's had a little look up the inside, but doesn't quite get it. The battle for 2nd place between the Mercedes and the Williams. Lucky Racer and Vladimir Jager. And now here we go, starting lap 18 of this race. Can Lucky Racer go to the, getting some DRS coming down towards turn 1? Is he going to get the move? He's getting closer again, but didn't quite get there. There's now lap 18 still. 10 laps remain in the Chinese Grand Prix. And now into turn 1 and turn 2. Lucky Racer still sticking with him. But now, onto the next part of the lap, the end of the 2nd sector. As now here you go, this is a chance for Lucky Racer to get past. He has gained a lot of time on him on this lap, about a few tenths, As now Lucky Racer is closer to Jagger. Coming down onto the DRS straight, here he goes. He's going to get some DRS. Coming down towards this corner. Here we go, DRS is available for Lucky Racer. He's going to go to the outside of Jagger, coming down towards the hairpin. They're going to go side by side. Lucky Racer tries to go round the outside. And they're wheel to wheel now, coming down onto this corner. And Lucky Racer has the inside line into the final corner and gets into second place. But now there's a bit of contact there, almost into the wall, almost goes Jagger. And that was close there. That was a very good save by Lucky Racer. He actually lost the car into Jagger's path and they almost crashed into each other. But luckily it was a very clean, and Lucky Racer gets up to second place for Williams. It's a good move from him. And on his return to the league, of course, he did not start Australia and Bahrain. And now in China, he is back into the championship, and he has got second place on his first race back. It's a very, very decent performance from the Williams driver. Here we go. Here is Jagger now, coming with DRS once again, and the overtake mode, hot lap mode, mode 5 on the ERS. He's going to get DRS now on Lucky Racer, coming down towards the hairpin. The battle continues for second place. Here we go into the hairpin. Lucky Racer defends. Jagger tries to go for the switchback, and not quite there. That's one of the closest Jagger got there to retaking second place, but he didn't get it there. Is now into the final corner. Can Jagger get past Lucky Racer once again, or try to use DRS to get closer and closer? He is, but he's too far back still to make the move into turn 1. So good defending from Lucky Racer, but now he's going to try and go on the inside maybe, but not quite. Lucky Racer still has he's keeping the car in very good positions there, Lucky Racer, to defend the second place from Jagger. This is a very good battle between these two. Maybe not as good as Fazal and Sentry battle, but it's up there. It's been an eventful race once again, the third eventful race in a row. Well, Bahrain was eventful, this is also eventful. It's a very enjoyable race to watch. As now, here we go, Jagger goes really wide there, and that's going to lose him a lot of time. So, yeah, that could decide the battle for second there. Right there, that mistake that Jagger just made into the double left-hander. Or just the first corner of the double left-hander. As now, here we go. Not much action occurred between that corner. Lucky Racer pulled away from Jagger. And now, Ping, after that mistake in the pit lane, is now going for a comeback. Is he going to get a podium in this race? That could be a huge boost to his championship after Agonza crashing out of the race. Lap 25 now. It's 5 laps after. 5 laps later. As now, yeah, Ping is really catching Vladimir Jagger in the Mercedes, coming down onto the straight now. Is Ping going to get a podium? Here we go. Ping too high in the Sauber is now catching Jagger really quickly, onto the straight. And he's not going to go up the inside, obviously not. But he's braking a lot later than him. As now, this is going to be a DRS move on the straight maybe into turn 1. He's gained so much time on this lap. Coming into the final corner now. It's a very quick corner, and now DRS is available for Ping once again. And we have 3 laps to go in this race. And now coming down towards turn 1. Is Ping going to go up the inside? He's having a little look up the inside. Coming into turn 1 and gets the move on the inside on Vladimir Jagger in the Mercedes. Ping Chuhai moves up into the podium places despite crashing in the pits. He is caught up all the way to 3rd place. And a very good move on the inside into turn 1. That was a very good move. There's a little bit of a dive as well. It was a very opportunistic move. Lap 27, the penultimate lap starts. Ping is now going to try and catch Lucky Racer, and Rantix has crashed into the wall at the exit of turn 2. And he is the 4th retirement of this race. After Boxy retired, Cryptox retired, Agonza retired, and now Rantix has retired. That is both Toro Rossos out because Savage also retired. So actually the 5th retirement of this race. And here we go, on to the final lap. Here we are with Wattmaster in the Sauber. He's going to become the 3rd different winner in this season. in the first 3 races. Here comes Whatmaster round the final corner to win the Chinese Grand Prix for Sauber. It's Sauber's second win of the season, and it's Whatmaster's first win of the season. And there's 3 different winners in the first 3 races. Ping Chuhai won in Australia, Agonza won in Bahrain, and then Whatmaster won in China. Lucky Racer is in second place for Williams, Ping Chuhai in third, and Jagger in fourth. Ping with a great comeback after crashing in the pit lane. As now here is Sentry after an unlucky drive-through penalty. While battling with Fazrul, he's going to finish in 5th place for Mercedes. Mercedes not on the podium today. As he crosses the line for P5, and Fazrul and Harry still on track. They are driving as AI cars, and they're actually inside each other right now, so they're actually going to finish neck and neck. And Harry gets the points for 6th place, Fazrul 7th, and actually 8th, because Wesley has been promoted up to 6th place for Ferrari. 8 points for Wesley. And Thaboom finishes his first race of the season, crossing the line in 9th. As Whatmaster celebrates his first win of the season, and he's the 3rd different winner in the first 3 races this season. So it's a very interesting season so far. We have both Saubers on the podium, and then with the Williams of Lucky Racer in his first race back in the league, and he gets 2nd place. It's a very, very interesting race. As the results of the Chinese Grand Prix, Whatmaster wins for Sauber by 8.3 seconds, Lucky Racer in 2nd place for Williams, then Ping Chuhai in 3rd for Sauber, Vladimir Jagger in 4th Mercedes, Sentry in 5th in the other Mercedes, Wesley in 6th for Ferrari, and then Harry and Fazrul AI cars finished in 7th and 8th. Then Thaboom finished his first race of the season and finished 9th. Rantix DNF'd, but he had 1 point because he retired in the last few laps. And Boxy, Savage, Agonza and Cryptox were the other retirements. And the championship standings after this race, Ping Chuhai takes the lead of the championship, but only by 1 point from his teammate Whatmaster. So Sauber 1-2 at the top of the championship. Agonza in 3rd, losing out on the win there after his DNF. Jagger in 4th, then Sentry. And then Combined didn't start today. He's down in 6th in the championship. Lucky Racer in 7th, 2 points behind Combined. Then it's Wesley and then Fazrul, Cryptox, Addy, Harry Tech, Rantix, Ventrox, Thaboom, White Wolf, and then Savage. That was a very eventful Chinese Grand Prix and a crucial one for the championship as well. Agonza crashing out of the race, of course. And the next race is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku. And see you then.